Hey everybody, this is the first of 4 different YouTube lectures that you'll be watching for this class. Today we're going to go over HTML and we're going to build out a website. So I guess let's get started. The first thing that you need to know is websites or web browsers, excuse me, like Safari or Chrome, whatever one you're using, the way that they function is that they actually go to a server and they ask that server to send them code. Then they render that code and read it, and the output is the website that you see and experience. So for instance, I'm going to come down here and open up Safari. I'm going to move my little face over there. We're going to go to unc.edu, and I'll show you what I mean. And my internet's going to take forever today. Okay. So all of this web page, everything that we're seeing and experiencing and things that we can click through and see how it's like changes and has all the pictures and everything like that, all of that is actual code that we don't see, we just kind of experience. So the way that you can see code is in Safari, you can go up to this Develop tab and Show Web Inspector. If you're using, I'm going to show you what it looks like in Chrome because it's a little bit easier to see. Hang with me real fast. Okay, so we're going to go to unc.edu. It's taking forever. Come on. There we go. Okay, so if you're using Chrome, you can go up to View, Developer, View Source. And most web browsers have something like the same kind of navigation where you see like Developer or Development Tool and then View Source. The source is the code. Okay, so this is just a crap ton of code. We're definitely not going to get this far into it. We're going to do our super basic today. Just create like one basic page with a few lines of code. But you can see like basically the web browser is reading all of this and it knows that this is the output. So that's what we're going to create today. Just a really kind of more simple version of that. Okay, going back to Safari, I'm just going to minimize that. Actually, the first thing that we're going to go do is find a picture. So you can have a picture on your desktop if you want to use that. I'm going to go find one from Google. Let's see. Let's do black puppies. And let's do German Shepherd black puppies. Love a puppy. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, so this is the one that I want. I'm just going to go and save this image wherever you get your image. Just make sure that it's professional and appropriate. If you can't show your grandma, if you wouldn't show your future employer, do not use that as your picture for this assignment. Use something that is PC and appropriate for school. We're going to want to name this pic1.jpg. Okay, let me spend just a few seconds on this. Any kind of file that we use for coding, we always want to make sure that everything that we do is in lowercase, has no special characters, and has no spaces. So that's so critical. Do not have a pic space 1. We want pic 1 all together, no spaces, all lowercase, always. So if there's nothing else that you remember from today, all lowercase, no spaces on the things that you code. Okay, so I'm just going to save that to my desktop here. Let's hit save, and I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to bring my little pic 1 over here because I have some dual monitors going on. So if you see my eyes kind of going side to side, that's what's happening. Okay, so we have our picture on our desktop, and I'm going to create a new folder, and I want to call this Web Assignment 1. Web Assignment 1. The other thing about web browsers is that they will only go to one location to call the code and the content, any other elements that you include in your web page. They'll only go to one location to find all that. So they're not going to go like poking and searching around your desktop to find all the things that they need. In this case, the page that we're going to build is going to this web assignment 1 folder. So we're going to drop my picture in web assignment 1. Let's make sure he went in there. Yep, got him there. So pick 1 is going to be in here. And then the code file, which I'll show you in just a second, will also live in here. So if your web page includes multiple pictures or videos or whatever that aren't embedded, that are like, external file videos, we're going to all want it to be housed in this one folder so that our browser knows exactly where to go to this one folder to get all the things. Okay, so that looks good. Exit out of there. The next thing that we're going to do, hopefully before this class, you heeded my advice from our last lecture and downloaded Atom. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and open up Atom. That is going to be, of course, it would open up in my other window. This is what's going to help us really write our code. This is the tool that helps us do that. We don't really need any of this crap up here. So we're going to go into File, New File. If you get a message from Git, it's Git, just ignore it. We don't need it. I like to clean up my space just a little bit, so I get rid of all these tabs that I'm not going to use. And I should only have the Untitled tab. So, I'll give you a few seconds to get that. Remember how we got this file open? We said File, New File, and it opened an untitled file for us. Okay, so before we begin coding, let's go ahead and save as. This is super important, people. What we save it as is critical here. So Safari or Chrome or Firefox or whatever you're using is going to be looking specifically for a file called index.html. That tells it, hey, go to index.html, and that'll give you all the things that you need for the home page. So when people go to my website, they experience everything that I code here on the index.html. So that's what we want to name it. So type it no caps, no spaces, index.html. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop again. And we see it's called index.html. I am going to minimize the side window for all my other projects. And I'm going to minimize Atom just for a hot second. And I'm going to go find my index.html file right there. And I'm going to drop it into Web Assignment 1 folder. So now if we open up that folder, we have our index, our home page code, which we'll have in just a minute, and we have our pick 1. So you should have these 2 items in your Web Assignment 1 folder. And I'm going to just close that out. Okay, let me go back to my Atom. And we have this guy up. Okay, so I'm going to hand type all of the content, all of the code for my homepage, and you're going to follow along with me. I'm going to go ahead and type it all out, and then I'll let you guys know when you can pause the video and type yours out, or you can type along with me and pause as you need. Don't judge me if I make a little flubs here and there, because I know you guys are all watching. Okay, so, and as I type these, you might see this stuff pop up. Just ignore it and keep typing manually. You can use that in the future, but for this exercise specifically, we want to hand type everything. I'll get through all this code. You can press pause, type all yours out, and then we'll go line by line. So if you have no idea what any of this stuff means, that's totally fine for now. I'll explain it. Okay, I have all my code. If you notice, there's something that's red and highlighted towards the bottom. It's the closing of my HTML tab. So the reason why it's highlighted is it's telling me, hey, I think this is wrong. There's something going on. So that's a really good indicator. If you see something lit up like that, go back and check it. It was just a simple typo, HTML instead of HTLM for me, but it let me know, hey, there's something off here. Okay. So go ahead and press pause, and you might want to go ahead and type out your own, compare it to mine, and make sure that all of your text looks exactly like mine does. Okay, so now that you have all your text typed, we're gonna go and do File, Save. You can also do Command S. I really do, as you code and make changes, it's really easy to just Control S and save as you go. So we've saved that. What I'm going to do is minimize this window halfway, and I'm going to bring up my web browser, your Safari or Chrome, whatever you want to use, and I'm going to just compress that a little bit. And that way I have both side by side. I like my Atom down on the or to the left and my web browser to the right. I'm going to move my screen down just a little bit. And for your web browser, let's go ahead and open up a new tab. And you're going to want to do File, Open File. So that's Command O. And it's going to say basically like you're going to open a file, and the browser that you're using will render whatever you're telling it to, whatever file you're telling it to read. So we're going to go to Web Assignment 1. We're going to say, hey, Safari or Chrome or Firefox, whatever, read index.html and open it in that new tab that I have open. And there's your web page. So everything that you coded here on the left is rendered right over here on the right as a web page. That's pretty cool if you've never done it before. So let's go through item by item and look how it rendered, and I'll show you what these things mean. I'm just going to close this extra Google tab I have here. Okay, so the very top line we have doctype HTML. So basically that's saying, hey, this whole document type is going to be an HTML doc type. And then this one right underneath it, that's in red text, HTML within the brackets, the carets sometimes is what they're called. Anything within carets is a command. So we are telling it, let's speak HTML from here on out till I tell you to stop. So open bracket, HTML, we're speaking that language, close bracket. This next one, open bracket, head, close bracket. Now we're basically assigning it like, hey, this is what we're going to use for the head. This is what we're going to use for the title. And for the title, we have the text, put your title here. Now, where does that render on our Safari or web browser? Where is that text? Where can that be found? If you take a look, it's not over here. It's right up here in your tab. So your title is actually your tab content. That's important because as an end user, when I have multiple tabs open, I want to know which tab relates to what content. So for this, put your title here. That's your tab content. Your title is your tab content. That is useful for your end user. It's also useful for search engine optimization, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. When you start a command within your brackets, you always want to end the command too. So you want to tell it start the title, and then you put your title, and then this backslash is telling it stop the title. We are done with that text. So anytime we start a command, we really want to end it. So we started the head, and we're going to end the head. That's basically this functionality. Okay, so now we are going to start the body, and that's everything, your meat and potatoes of your page. So we start an H1, that's a header 1, and we have the text here, put your text here, and then we end header 1. So it's saying the format, the size, the font size, everything that's in H1, see it's kind of bigger up here. We start that and we end it. So we start it over here, we blah, 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 and then we end it. We close that command. Okay, the next item is image source. So again, that's why it's really important to keep everything within the same folder, right? Because our browser it's lazy and dumb, basically. It's not going to go and look and search around your computer for all these files that you may want to reference in your code. We put it all together for it so that it can just go to one place and know where to go and what to use. So for image, we're telling it, this is the source. It's called pic1.jpg. And it's rendering my little puppy here. And it's saying alt equals description. So alt is super important for 3 different reasons. Alt means that it's alternative text, alternative functionality. So if my picture, let's say, you don't have to do this exercise, but let's say that I put pic2 and I just saved that change. And I'm gonna say that my image was living outside of my folder. And my web browser is, again, lazy. It's not gonna go look and hunt and peck for this stuff. It can't call pic1 or pic2 because pic2 doesn't exist in that web assignment 1 folder. So the link is broken. And I'm sure you guys have all visited websites where sometimes like they'll have broken links or broken pictures. The description right here is important because that's actually the text that will be in place of my awesome little puppies if that image is not available. So I'm just going to correct my error real fast. I'm going to put pic1. I'm going to save that. I'm going to come back over here and refresh it. My picture's back up there. So we want to change this description so that it is something relevant to our picture. So I'm just going to put black puppies. And I'm going to go up to File, Save, or you can do Command Save. It's time saver. Those keyboard shortcuts will come in handy here. So I've said if this picture is broken, if that link, if the path to the picture is broken or the picture isn't available for whatever reason, then the text black puppies will show up right there. So I'm going to refresh my browser. And, oh, you're not going to be able to see it because the picture is actually available. So let me go break that picture real fast again. I'm just going to change it to 2 because 2 doesn't exist. I'm going to save. I'm over here, refresh. Picture's not available, but in its place, you see black puppies. Okay, so 3 reasons why this is important. 1, because if the picture, like I said, if that path is broken and the picture's not available, there's a filler there. So people will know if they're browsing your website, oh, there's supposed to be black puppies there. The second reason is for the visually impaired. So if on the regular you can't see what images are actually on a web page and they're using software to verbally dictate what content is living on a page, the tool that they'll use will say pic of black puppies or image of black puppies. The third reason is for search engine optimization, which I mentioned earlier. SEO or search engine optimization is like being the popular kid in school. You want to be as high on the Google search as you can possibly get. And one way to do that that will help you is putting these alt descriptions in there. So anytime you ever do a web assignment, not only for my class, but for any other class, make sure that you always put alt text in. Any project for my class moving forward, if you don't have alt text for every single image that you use, you will be docked points. Again, for those 3 reasons. You have SEO, search engine optimization. You have those who are visually impaired, and it's necessary for you to provide them with alternative text so that they know what's going on your webpage. And for those who are just regular Joe Schmo users and your image may be broken, you want to have a backup available there. Okay, so I'm just going to come back. I'm going to switch this back to pic1, which is what we've named our image. I'm going to save. I'm going to come over here and refresh. And there's my puppy again. Okay, so say that I wanted my puppy half the size of that. Say that your picture may be much bigger and it may look a little ridiculous. We're just going to come in here after we tell it, okay, this is where to pull the picture. And we're going to put height equals 50% and width equals 50%. I'm going to take these quotes off. Okay, so by putting the height and the width on your image, remember we're speaking only about the image right now. This is where to pull the image, and this is what we want to do with the image. So we're wanting to tell it decrease the height by 50% and decrease the width by 50%. We're going to save this change. We're going to come over here to our page, and it increased it. It did. So it increased it by 50%. So yours will increase by 50%. Okay. So moving on to the next line, we have H2. So that is scrolling down just a little bit. Let me move my computer up just a little bit, or my face up just a little bit. Okay. So we have H2, and we have put H2 text here. And I had mentioned that we have H1, which is a little bit bigger. We have H2 down here. Let's try to see what H3 and H4 might look like. So we're going to put H3 and put H3 text here. And we're going to stop that command. And we're going to put an H4 text here, and let's stop that H4 command. So it's telling it this text, apply H3 and then stop H3. And for this text, apply H4 and stop H4. We're going to save. We're going to come over to our web page. We're going to refresh and see what happens. Okay, so now we have put H2. So that's what H2 looks like. That's header 2 font size. This is header 3 font size, and this is header 4 font size. So you can see the bigger the number, the smaller the font size gets in this case. So all these headers, as they get larger numbers, they get smaller size. Okay, so let's move down to LI. Now that is a command. LI means list item. So we wanted to list all these 4 items. And LI is telling it, hey, put a bullet point here, and that's item number 1, and stop that item. And then we're going to start a new item, and that's going to be item number 2, and then we're going to stop that command. So we did that for all 4 items here. As you can see, they're kind of crammed. They feel like they need some white space, they need some breathing room. So this is a command that I'm going to show you that is really, really helpful in trying to help format your page a little bit. We are going to, said I wanted some space between items 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's just add some space in here and see what happens. Okay, so it's very much, and we want some space in between the item 4 and that link too, because it's really jammed up in there. Okay, so now we have some space added. Let's save that. Let's go over to our web page. Let's refresh, and nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? Well, that's because when we just entered these extra lines of code, we didn't actually give a command. So it doesn't know to insert a line break there. We have to literally tell it. So the command for break for a line break is BR. This is different than if you're typing in Word, right? Because in Word, you just hit enter a few times and you have a line break. For code, you have to literally tell it, BR, man, take a break. Okay, so we added our BRs, our break tabs. You don't have to stop this one, so you wouldn't have to do end break, although it wouldn't, you don't need it, and it wouldn't hurt if you had it, basically. So we're going to Control Save or Command Save, come over here, refresh, and we have some breathing room. Isn't that nice? Okay, so you understand list items now and breaks. This other line item here is href. So that is basically telling it, okay, we're going to start and we're going to tell you we would like to assign a hyperlink reference. That's what href stands for. Hyperlink reference, and this is where we want to go. This is the link that we want to send our users. So I always recommend using the full hyperlink. That includes HTTP or HTTPS all the way through your entire web link. So if you were to leave HTTPS and these backslashes off and just had www.unc.edu or even just unc.edu, some browsers will not know how to read that, so you'll have a broken link, and that is not good. Always, always, always put the full hyperlink, beginning with HTTP or HTTPS. What is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? Really, it's just like one more layer of security when the person set up that website. They have like a certain kind of license, a secure license for that. Just for your future reference, if it has HTTPS, go ahead and put that full HTTPS / www. blah 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 blah, or HTTP : / www. blah 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 blah. Put the full hyperlink. Then we have the name of the link here, and then we tell it, okay, we're done with that assignment. Like, stop hyperlinking. We're done here. Let's talk a little bit about name of link here. Oftentimes, especially for like old school web design, they would have put click here and sent you off to God knows where. So as an end user, I always want to know, where are you sending me? So do not send me to click here, because that gives me no point of reference to where I'm going to land. If you send me to ESPN, like a certain news story on ESPN about LeBron James breaking his ankle, then tell me where I'm going to land. So that the name of link text could possibly change to, LeBron James breaks ankle, or something like that. That way, you're not just sending him into the abyss. It's a polite thing to do for your end users. Okay. So the last two are really just telling us, okay, we are done with all the body right here, so we can stop talking about what content belongs in here, and we're done with this whole sheet altogether. So remember, the reason why we have to end these two is because we started these two, right? So we started the body right there. We're going to stop talking about the body, and everything in between there is what fills the body part of a web page. And then the same with HTML. We are starting to speak HTML up here. All of this is HTML. And then we're going to stop speaking HTML because we're done. We're done here. It's kind of like the high five, sayonara, see you later. We're done. Okay, so I'm going to save just to be safe and refresh over here. So let me go back really fast to this image resizing. There are several different ways to resize photos, and we'll get a little bit more into that in CSS. Feel free to play around with that if you want. In some cases, I think in some cases, if your photo is large to begin with and you apply this height 50%, width 50%, it'll decrease it by 50%. Mine I don't know why it increased it by 50%, but there are lots of different ways. If you hit snags in your coding, Google it, ask your fellow classmates. If you have a friend that likes to code and build websites, they're always great resources too. There are 1.5 million ways to do a lot of the same things with code. So that's kind of like a bonus, and it's a double-edged sword. It can make things easier, and sometimes it can make things harder. I have no reason or no idea why that increased my picture by 50%. But if you try it on yours and it decreases it, that's awesome. We'll play around a little bit more with that in CSS, so it's not a big deal. So for web assignment number 1, what I want you to do is obviously what you've done throughout this lecture, manually type all this stuff out. And then I want you to change all of the titles here. So I want new content up here on your tab, and you can do that by changing the title. I want a new header 1 text. You can change that here under H1. I want a different image than what I've used. Again, make sure that this is all professional. And then go through and change all of these headers, header 2, header 3, header 4, item 1, or your item bullet, your bulleted items here. Change all of those. And then down at the bottom, I would like you to change your link to like something other than UNC's link, and then tell me where I'm going. Okay? So if you have any questions, we will have either a Facebook site set up, or the forums, whatever you guys voted on and decided, that'll be there available for you. And then we always have our Zoom lectures being held, of course, on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. So if you have any questions, I think the route to go down is try Googling it first, reach out on the forum or the Facebook group. Your classmates may know the answer, or sometimes I'll know the answer and I can help you. And then if you can't figure it out, bring it to the Zoom class and we will troubleshoot it there. Alrighty. If there's anything, I don't think, one other thing I really wanted to show you guys, sorry, before I forget. Let's say we wanted to center this picture, let's just say we want to center everything. The command for that, I'm sorry, I almost forgot about this, is, let's put it under body. We're just going to do center. Control save and go over here, and everything is centered. So our command is center, and we never actually told it to stop centering. So it just centered everything in the body. So if I want only the picture to be centered and nothing else, I'm going to come over to my code. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to put it right here instead. Let's center that, and let's do it. Stop that center, if I can spell it correctly, right there. Okay, so if I include this code, that should only center my photo and everything else should be left aligned. Let's save it and refresh, and it did. So you can apply that center command to anything, really, and you can stop it. So don't forget, if you want to center certain things and not others, then you have to tell it when to stop centering. Okay, I'm sorry, that was the last thing I wanted to show you guys. I will look forward to seeing your web assignment number 1. I'll set up that assignment in Sakai, and you will submit to me a brief reflection like we've done for a lot of other assignments. You'll include 2 different file types. So you'll include your index.html, which is what we've been working on, and you'll also include your picture too. So be sure you include those 2 files and your reflection in this web assignment number 1 within Sakai. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I am around, and I hope you guys are getting some outdoor time too, staying away from people. If you have elderly around you, just be cognizant, wash your hands a lot, and be safe and happy, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.